The room was heavy with a silence that felt bruised, broken only by the frantic, mechanical heartbeat of a digital alarm clock. The red numbers burned into the darkness. July 14, 2026. Lilly bolted upright, a strangled gasp tearing from her lungs. Her skin was slick with a cold, panicked sweat, and her fingers flew to her throat, searching for the jagged ruin of a bite wound that, only seconds ago, had ended her world. There was nothing but smooth, unblemished skin. "No, no, no, please," she whimpered, the phantom pain still echoing in her nerves. A familiar weight shifted at the foot of the bed. Two glowing emerald orbs ignited in the shadows as Leo, a massive, soot-black Maine Coon, uncurled himself. He let out a rhythmic, questioning purr that vibrated through the mattress. "Leo!" Lilly lunged forward, burying her face in his thick, lavender-scented fur. He didn't smell like copper or rot. He was warm. He was real. She pulled back, her eyes hardening with a sudden, icy clarity. "It's Tuesday. It's 4 a.m. We have 6 hours." The countdown. The morning sun was deceptively bright, casting long, peaceful shadows over a world blissfully unaware it was about to expire. At the local market, Lilly moved like a whirlwind, heaving cases of tuna and bottled water into the back of her SUV. "Rough morning, Lilly." Marcus, a store clerk, leaned against a line of carts, a red bull dangling from his hand. "You usually just come in for the organic kale, planning for a war." Lilly didn't look up. "Go home, Marcus." "Excuse me." She stopped, her knuckles white as she gripped a flat of canned peaches. "Call your mom. Tell her to stay in the basement. Don't go to the hospital tonight. Just lock the doors." Marcus chuckled, though it sounded forced. "Okay, vibe check. Officially weird. Is this a TikTok thing?" "In 3 hours," Lilly said, slamming the trunk shut. "You're going to wish you'd bought more than that energy drink." From the passenger seat, Leo let out a low, guttural hiss. His green eyes narrowed at Marcus, as if calculating the man's dwindling shelf life. The black vein. By the time the radio began to dissolve into static and screams, Lilly was already miles away, pushing the SUV toward the outskirts. The announcer's voice was a jagged fragment. "Erratic behavior. Transit hub. Stay away from the windows." Black, oily smoke began to coil into the sky over the city center. When a young girl named Maya flagged down the car, clutching a camera bag and trembling, Lilly didn't hesitate. She knew the faces of the monsters emerging from the tree line, the jerky, twitching movements, and the bruised, gray skin of the shamblers. "Get in now," Lilly barked. As Maya scrambled into the back, she stared at the massive cat perched on the console. "Why do you have a cat right now?" "Leo isn't just a cat," Lilly replied, throwing the car into gear as she bypassed a clogged bridge via a construction site. "He's my early warning system, and you're lucky he likes your scent, otherwise I'd have left you for the rot." The tainted sanctuary. The storm shelter was a concrete tomb buried deep in Georgia clay, smelling of dust and old iron. But the safety was an illusion. After bolting the steel door, Lilly was joined by a frantic stranger named Elias and his feverish daughter, Sophie. The horror didn't come from outside, but from within. Leo began to hiss, his fur standing on end as he pointed toward the clean supplies Lilly had spent her savings on. When she pried open a crate, her face went deathly pale. Inside the sealed bottles, translucent, pulsating black strings were growing like living wires. "The infection," Lilly whispered, the realization hitting her like a physical blow. "It's been in the water table for weeks. Everything I pre-packed. It's all poison." Elias held up a screaming Geiger counter. "It's not just the water. We saw the pressure spikes at the utility board. Someone injected this into the lines." But as Leo approached the dying girl, something impossible happened. He began to lick Sophie's hand, and her gray, sickly complexion flushed pink. Her ragged breathing smoothed out. "He's a reset button," Lilly realized, her mind racing. "But we're trapped in a hole full of spores. We have to move." The pharmacy run. The trek to Miller's drugs was a nightmare of shadows and snapping branches. They found Miller, or what was left of him, stumbling in the fog. But when Leo let out a high-pitched, harmonic yowl, the monster didn't attack. It bowed. Inside the pharmacy, the truth was revealed on a grainy security loop. Men in tactical gear with white sun black eye patches, the Solaris group, were intentionally seeding the virus. They weren't supposed to show up for another year, Lilly hissed, leveling her weapon as a Solaris soldier breached the back door. Specimen 404 located, the soldier droned. Secure the feline. In the chaos of blue flame and gunfire, Leo emitted a low-frequency thrum that shattered the soldier's visor. They escaped in a Solaris tactical transport, using Leo's paw to bypass the biometric locks. The computer's voice was chilling. "Welcome, Director." The Obsidian Hive. They didn't hide. They headed for the source, the old stone quarry. It had been transformed into a hive of obsidian spires draped in pulsing black veins. Thousands of shamblers stood in silent, horrifying rows. Dr. Arias stood at the center, shielded by a kinetic field. "I remember every failure, Lilly," she called out. "But today, you brought me the original." Lilly didn't stop. She leaped from the moving SUV, her exovest whirring as she carved through a line of silver-armored reapers with vibrating blades. "Leo, do it." The cat leaped into the center of the quarry. As his paws hit the earth, a massive emerald shock wave erupted. He became a biological vacuum, pulling the infection out of the air and the people, drawing the corruption into his own shimmering fur. "It'll kill him," Arias screamed as her systems failed. "He's not containing it," Lilly shouted, twisting the manual override key. "He's filtering it." A blinding flash of golden light swept across the horizon. 1 year later. Tuesday morning in the Appalachian foothills was quiet. There were no sirens, no screams, and no black veins. Lilly sat on the porch of a refurbished farmhouse, sipping coffee. Beside her, Leo sat on the railing, looking like a perfectly ordinary soot-black cat. Inside, Elias worked on the radio while Maya broadcast the Lilly-Leo protocol to other survivor hubs. 1 year, Leo, Lilly murmured, scratching him behind the ears. "No resets, just Tuesday." Leo let out a casual chirp, his green eyes tracking a butterfly. The apocalypse was over, but the world was new. As a custom-built scout vehicle pulled into the driveway, Lilly didn't feel the old familiar dread. She felt ready. She wasn't a victim of a timeline anymore. She was the one writing it.